Narcissist Ensnared, Episode 5. Ian Wynne had found the day rather difficult. He had decided to work at home. His mind repeatedly filled with concern about Ashley and what Peter might be saying in an attempt to keep her as his. Wynne loved and adored her. She felt the same about him. She had told him so many times, yet still he felt a nagging insecurity. The longer that time passed without them seeing one another, the longer he felt that something might go wrong, that she might change her mind as she was subjected to the repeated and sustained overtures from Peter. She had called him around mid-morning to explain that she was going across to the house to see Peter. Wynne had found that he felt unsettled and had expressed his frustration at how Peter was clinging on. "Can't you just tell him it's over and he needs to man up and move on?" he said, as he had spoken to Ashley on her hand-freeze phone. "Look, Ian, it isn't as straightforward as that." "Yes, it is. You don't want him. You want me. It's over. Deal with it." "Well, when you put it like that, yes, it is simple, but we have been together for nearly 20 years. 20 years of hell." "They weren't all bad," countered Ashley. Wynne had stayed silent. He did not want to be saying anything which garnered sympathy for his nemesis. It was now late afternoon, and he was sat in his living room, the lights off, as he wondered what had been happening. There had been no further communication since that morning's telephone call. He, of course, could not contact her, not while she was with him. The effect of this had left Wynne unable to concentrate on his work, and he had called Stephen, running through various scenarios with him. He found it helped for him to have at least his friend as a sounding board. Wynne couldn't ascertain why he felt so uneasy, but he did. He wished that they could fast forward a few weeks, so that this messy period was moved through quickly. His phone began ringing, and he could see that it was Ashley. "Hi," he said, as he answered straight away. "Hi," replied Ashley. "How did it go?" asked Wynne. "Well, it's been a long day. I just popped over to Louise's to update her. I've been there for 2 hours. "Oh, right," commented Wynne. He had hoped that Ashley would have called him before going to see her friend. "We spent most of the time going through the finances as he wants to cut certain expenditures down," she began. "How is that relevant to splitting up?" asked Wynne. He could feel his impatience rising. "Just listen to me. You've got to trust me, okay? I have to get to work on causing him to understand that it is over. He won't accept that in one day. He just won't. I have told him that I'm not with you anymore." "Why have you done that?" declared Wynne. He couldn't contain his alarm. "If he thinks you're on the scene, Ian, he will just cling on out of spite. He cannot comprehend me belonging to anybody else." "You don't belong to anybody, Ashley. You're not a possession." "Well, he doesn't think like that, does he?" "True. I have to get him to think that I am making this decision for myself." "Well, you are. I have never asked you to leave him, not once." "No, I know that. What I mean is, I know I am making the decision for myself, but he has to see that too. Otherwise, he will think that I am under your influence or something." "Why would he think that you're under my influence?" "Oh, you know, he can't accept that I have a mind of my own, can he? He's so used to controlling me that he cannot bear to think that I would make a decision for myself. It has to be someone else making me think this way. He wants to blame you, basically." "He needs to take a long look in the mirror if he wants to know who is to blame," commented Wynne. I know, but try telling him that. He just doesn't see it. Honestly, he's seriously deluded. He really does think that he's given me the world, that he's never done anything wrong or anything bad to me, ever. He just doesn't understand how anyone could ever want to leave him. That's how big his ego is. Accordingly, he makes you the problem. He thinks that if he can free me from your influence, then I will go back to him. So you tell him that we're not together, thus encouraging him to think he has a chance of getting you back, says Wynne, sourly. Well, yes, I can see how that looks, but help me here, please, Ian. If I say I'm with you, he'll make my life hell. He'll make your life hell. I'd like to see him try, bristled Wynne. Well, his dad knows people in the police. You never know what they might try and do. Don't be daft. They can't fit us up for something, said Wynne. I wouldn't put it past that maniac. No police officer is going to risk their career for him. I'm not worried about that. Well, what if he hires some thugs to go after you? I'll deal with them, and then I'll send twice as many to go after him, replied Wynne. Would you? For me? No, Ashley, because he wouldn't do that. He's not a big enough man. He knows he can control you, so that's what he'll be focusing on. You. He won't waste his energy trying to influence others that are beyond his sphere of influence. Trust me on this, said Wynne. I do. You are the only one I can trust, but in turn you need to trust my judgment on this, and allow me to paint the picture to him that we are no longer involved. But we will still see one another, won't we? Asked Wynne. Yes, just not as much. How long will that go on for? Maybe a fortnight? Wynne said nothing. Are you cross with me? Asked Ashley. No, I just thought, maybe unrealistically, that things would move on a bit faster than this. I know. You just have to trust me on this. I'm not dealing with someone who is acting rationally, am I? Let me handle him, and that way I can smooth things. If he thinks I'm with you, he'll dig in. Please, do this for me. Okay. I can't pretend I'm happy about it, though, Ashley. I miss you. Well, look. You're dropping your nephews at the Christmas kitchen at Whitefriars, aren't you, tomorrow? Asked Ashley. Yes, around 9:30, answered Wynne. Well, Amelia's going to that, so I'll see you there. It might be best if you can avoid Amelia seeing you. I don't want her to say anything to Peter. I will try, but it might not be easy to completely avoid her. I shall have to hope that I get there before you. Sure, but we can see each other after we've dropped the children off. Yes, we can. Thank goodness. I need your kiss so much. Me too, added Wynne. So, did you discuss this infamous list in any more detail? No, I managed to avoid that. I just concentrated on the finances instead. Mind you, I told Louise about it, and she said that I should tell him where to stick his list. Wynne laughed. Did you tell Louise about us? There was a slight pause. No, I didn't, said Ashley. Why not? It's too soon. It looks better if I tell everyone that I've made the decision to end things. It's less messy this way. People will know about you soon enough. But I thought you said that Peter had been ringing your friends up and telling them that what you'd been doing. He would have been bound to have mentioned me. No doubt he will have asked them if they knew me, Wynne pointed out. I don't know. I can't really remember, answered Ashley. So much has been going on, and I'm tired. It doesn't matter, said Wynne. We just need to get you through this. Thank you, said Ashley. I don't know what I would do without you riding to my rescue. That's what I'm here for. Look, I'd better go. My father wants me to call him and let him know what has been happening, so I need to do that. Honestly, all of a sudden everyone wants to talk to me. I'm not used to being the centre of attention. Okay, you had better do that then. Let me know how it goes. Yes, I will. Bye. The call ended, and Wynne remained sitting in the dark of his living room. The content of the conversation had not eased his concerns at all. Instead, they had actually increased. He could not understand why Ashley was pandering to Peter, agreeing to meet with him and discussing items in accordance with his agenda. He was worried that she might cave in to Peter's incessant pressure, and he was bound to have been emboldened if he thought that Wynne was no longer on the scene. He thought that Ashley had made an error in that regard. If Peter knew she was with Wynne, he was surely more likely to accept that it was over. Instead, if he thought that she had dispensed with Wynne, Peter was going to think that she still had feelings for him, and that he had a chance. She should have told him the truth. In fact, Wynne was firmly of the view that she needed to be more forthright in letting other people know what Peter had done. She seemed to show some strange indifference to doing this. It was all right for Peter to ring her friends and family up and call her various names, but she didn't seem to want to retaliate. Wynne felt that he needed to persuade her to do this, so people knew why she had acted as she had. He was loath to tell her what to do. That smacked too much of Peter. But if she was to get through this difficult period, then she needed some firm guidance. He decided that he would raise this with her when they met at Whitefriars tomorrow.